you specifically want to apply that towards games?
Yeah, I want to do sound design mostly, but
Okay.
I just kind of ended up doing a lot of stuff. Digital culture is so vague in itself that it's just like, it's like art, but learning the tools of Photoshop, and not just that, just any software that you would use digitally.
Yeah. What makes you want to do sound design?
I think that just adds so much to a game. Like, just like there's so many iconic sounds in games I feel like are overlooked, that without that it would be missing so much.
Yeah, I think sounds are a big reason of why like games become nostalgic to people, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you look at somebody like Nakey Jakey and how like he just kind of sprinkles like various like sounds that are clearly like favorites of his in his videos in like unfamiliar places, and like you'll hear like rap songs like sampling like little like sounds here or there, and it just like gives you this like immediate endorphin rush.
My fascination with it started with the Wilhelm scream, actually.
Really?
When I realized that was something that was overused, and I realized was almost like an industry standard kind of jokey thing.
Yeah.
And then I started hearing other like sounds that were similar to each other, and I started realizing like, oh, this is like a free sound that someone pulled, or like this is just from someone's library, or like a public library.
I remember my brother always claimed he like was able to tell the difference between the handful of like laugh tracks they used in Drake and Josh, because he just started noticing the same woman like over and over again, and I could never really hear it, but like stuff like that was always interesting to me too, where you're trying to like pick things apart and like figure out like the inside jokes and like kind of the nature of how things are made.
Yeah. And to touch on like the whole 8-bit thing we were talking about again, just like the limitations of those era of games, because when you think 8-bit, you usually think of like, you know, old school Mario. They had to work with so little storage space that they had to reuse sounds in a really creative way. Like Bowser's sound in the original Mario Bros. Is the same as Boo's sound. They just sped it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's tons of instances of that kind of stuff where to save storage space because they're so limited.
The way Mario 64 sounds is like haunting to me. Like there's something about that game where it's like a horror genre game.
Yeah.
So then when YouTube like took me down the Mario 64 like creepypasta world, like it's like I'm like, other people had the same feeling.
That's the best rabbit hole to go down.
Like I feel like when you're in the Hub World lobby, like it's supposed to feel happy, but it's like there's something about like that organ playing in the background. Like it has like this echo where you're like, where am I? I don't feel safe.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how like early composers and sound designers did that kind of stuff, because it was like there was no precedent for video games to have that done. Like film was there, but like having a player interact with it was new.
Yeah, really popular video essayist did this video essay on Super NES music, and he spoke mostly about David Wise composing the Donkey Kong Country 2 music.
Yeah, oh god, one of my favorite.
When you go in the comments, there's tons of people calling him out for being really lazy on his research for the video, saying that he said a lot of really factually inaccurate things. Because he was saying how like there's like a sound chip in there, and like how the DSP can only hold like 64 kilobits of RAM, and how like because of that they were like limited to like that amount of sound files. But there's tons of people in the comments saying that like that's not how RAM works, and how like the cartridge itself could store like almost like unlimited sound or something like that, and like the whole notion of what he was saying was kind of incorrect, but it still was true, like you were saying, like they were limited to really small size like wave files and things like that. And so David Wise, the composer, is actually in the comments like clarifying a bunch of things.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And like I guess he was inspired by like these new synthesizer technology where you could like string like waves together. So he like used like hexadecimal code to like record like a million different like fractional like wave sounds, and he like basically like blended them all together to like create these really intricate like beautiful songs.
Those Super Nintendo David Wise like composed songs they sound like nothing else. Like he had it figured out. I have such a respect for people like him, or like Koji Kondo, who is like one of my personal heroes.
What did he do?
So he's pretty much solo composed every Mario and Zelda game up to almost Wind Waker. He almost did most of Wind Waker.
So did he not do Galaxy?
He was like the lead person on it, but he didn't do everything.
Okay.
But like he was like kind of just a programmer that was tasked with making sound, because like back in the first Mario games, it was just like he just kind of winged it, and then he's now like one of the most renowned video game composers of all time. Like all of his sounds, like Zelda music, Mario music, is so iconic. It's insane.
Yeah, no, I think Zelda music is really influential on like music.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when you listen to it, I'm like, oh, like music today kind of is like a post-Zelda world. I don't know how to describe that.
Post-Zelda.
Just sometimes I'm listening to something and I'm like, this seems Zelda inspired.
But yeah, like to go from like being so limited as to like make little chip tunes for a Nintendo to orchestrating like full orchestral pieces for Super Mario Galaxy, it's like he wasn't even trying to go down that path.
Yeah, I remember when they were promoting the Wii at like E3 and stuff, they were like unveiling Wii music, and they're like, you're gonna have so much fun with your friends playing these maracas. No, dude, I was like 11, so like they made me want that shit.
When they were like fake playing the xylophone, and it was like not synced up, like doot, doot.
Yeah, there was like, they had a whole band of people with Wiimotes like playing a song together.
Yeah, dude, that was so corny, but it's that Nintendo fun that you wouldn't get from anything else.
It's really funny where every time they invent a console